welcome to live on Wednesday night. Welcome back to Ambition Amplified. I'm Zach, your host, and today we're joined by the founders of Two Shot Media. He'll be joining in a few minutes. These two creatives have helped build a media company focused on helping brands tell their stories through cinematic video and photography. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
For those who may not know a lot about you, tell us about yourselves and what first got you interested in photography, videography, storytelling. Just what got you interested in what you're doing now.
Yeah, so I started getting interested in film in high school. It was just an elective I took. And then I ended up going to film school, and photography kind of became a byproduct of that kind of, similar camera interest. But ever since then, I've really loved like the idea of storytelling and just making a new world, and the most being on the set with people, especially friends. It's just like a great environment. Like I do it for free, and I have done it for free for many years.
100%.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with Giovanni. For me, I also went to film school and I fell in love with making documentary and engaging with other folks in different communities and being able to tell their stories and tell my own. And so it's just been a passion of mine since then to be able to create something meaningful and work with other folks on projects that you can really feel.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can imagine that's quite a fulfilling feeling being on set and creating someone's story, capturing that. That is definitely something I think is very cool.
It's very cool.
Before Two Shot Media existed, what were both of your individual like creative journeys like? I mean, you mentioned filming in high school, but is there, I guess, what's the story of you guys meeting and establishing Two Shot Media?
I actually met through a mutual friend who I met in college. Um, and we were kind of doing our own thing for the most time. Like I was a freelance travel dog photographer and
Hmm.
videographer for a couple clients. And, it wasn't film. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. And I had met Tama maybe a couple years ago, and I reached out to him saying like, hey, I'm doing this by myself. I know you're doing it by yourself. Why don't we just like try to work on this together? And ever since then, it's been really cool. He's a great business partner and friend.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Giovanni and I have been like, we both understand what it's like to be working freelance and to be working on something that you're passionate about, but to need kind of more support when it comes to a crew. And so Two Shot Media was kind of born of that idea of like, what can we do when two folks that are passionate about film and passionate about photography and about community come together, and what can we make? And how can we support the people around us with that practice, and what can we put our minds to that's like bigger than we thought we could make because we're doing it together. So that's kind of what brought us.
Yeah, 100%. I have a question though about, I think this is probably true in any partnership, but when it comes to like the final cut of something or the, the last decision, last say, how do you guys balance that sort of, your opinion versus his, or how do you combine to get the best product?
Well, the good news is like both Giovanni and I are very much perfectionists.
Hmm.
We love producing work that we're proud of, and we both want to see the project through to its end in the best way possible. So we trust each other, we trust each other's opinions, and we both kind of look at a project and we know when it's done, or if the other, is like, I could keep working on this forever, because that's how we feel about a lot of things that we love working on. We kind of keep each other in check where we're like, okay, this isn't an amazing place. You could work on this for a year or you could put this out now. And we kind of balance each other in that way, which is something that I really respect about Giovanni and about our partnership.
Yeah, same. It's we had that conversation like maybe a couple months ago
Hmm.
where we're like, I have to get pulled off a project, and same for Tama, because we'll go in a loop until we think it's done. And we gave like the not the authority, but like, if you see the other do that, put your foot down and stop that loop, because we'll go for it for days. Like You know, I
Okay.
feel like it won't be ready, but like if Tama's like it's done, it's done, or I say to them like it's done, I believe them.
Hmm. Okay, I got you. Like sort of that collaboration, but having the trust in
Yeah,
the other person.
exactly.
When you first launched Two Shot Media, what was your vision for the company, or what was your mission that you wanted to achieve?
Mission, really get back into the TV and film space. Like we were, at least I wasn't in it for 5 years after film school,
Mhm.
and it was a lot of like photography work, which I love, but I really love like the film TV aspect of it. So that's been the projects we've kind of been leaning towards now, and hopefully to make it, our full time.
Yeah, I think we also just really appreciated, like, coming from a doc lens, what it was like to be able to support the stories of other like marginalized folks and marginalized communities, and creating a platform for them to share and speak. And I think when we started Two Shot, we just really wanted to be able to provide that, and see ourselves within the pieces that are being made now, see people that look like us, and be able to engage with our friends and other folks that we care about, and just create that platform. So, yeah.
Absolutely. If you were to describe your work or your, you know, how would you describe your projects or your like cinematic like cinematography to someone who's never seen your stuff?
I'd say maybe like higher energy with like a familiar feel. Um,
Yeah, our work is very punchy and like loud, like visually loud, and we like to make it kind of stunning and dazzling a little bit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Absolutely. Walk us through a creative process from the moment like a client reaches out to you, and then how does that evolve over time to reaching the final product and being satisfied with both, both sides, both parties?
well, we basically take in all the ideas of the client and kind of break down what makes them that company. So, for example, something like the Thirst Project, they're really into providing. I mean, they provide wells for
Hmm.
um, impoverished nations and other places. But like it's
Oh,
oh,
hello.
There's Tama.
Hi there. Sorry to interrupt. Just for the record, my name is Tama,
Yeah.
and this is Two Shot Media, and Giovanni and I, we work together, just so you can put a face to
Yes.
the name.
But yeah, we basically take, I guess, the essence of the company and we run it back until they feel comfortable with what they see, and we definitely give it our all for each project.
Absolutely. Like, as Giovanni was saying, with a nonprofit like Thirst Project, we knew that it's really important that they have funding. It's really important that they have a platform, and that the essence and mission of what they're providing is getting across and being heard. So we would then take that prompt and say, okay, we want to make sure that whatever we're making underscores all of those values, and is digestible, and is something that's relatable, because it's pertinent, that they receive some support. And so, yeah, we kind of work with clients in that way to say, what is your end goal? What are you, like? Who is your audience? What is your target? And how can we best support that in a way that feels good for both you and us on our end? And I think that's kind of the process.
Absolutely, yeah. And one of my next questions was going to be when you're creating content for a brand, um, what's the first thing you look at to really build a connection with them? But I guess you kind of outlined that foundation and really understanding the values and the mission of what you want to accomplish. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah.
we're pretty specific and intentional about the folks that we choose to work with. We want to completely align with like with their mission and their ethos, and we want to make sure that we're doing work that we can be proud of, and feel good about creating, and that we connect. So we do a lot of research before we reach out to a brand or reach out to a company, and we also just we look at their past work and we see kind
Mhm.
of where we can really support one another, and then we go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What about some of your inspiration for your visuals or your storytelling, or even just like some of your favorite filmmakers or people you really respect who also kind of do similar things to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What's his name? Aaron B. Hall. I love his page. I don't know if you've seen him. He's a photographer, videographer.
Okay.
This is very like gritty action shots. And then on the flip side, what's her name? Paige Tingy.
Hmm.
She has like these very like vibrant colors. They're very opposites, but I feel like most of our projects go in either way. So it's kind of like this airy with a tinge of like, um, not seriousness or action, but like it's very, I guess, intentional.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then I think in terms of storytelling, a lot of it comes from lived experience, and the way that we navigate the world, and the experiences we've had with folks we care about. And I think we're all kind of inspired by what's around us. And it's been really incredible to sort of put a pen to paper in that way and make something out of something that's kind of mundane.
Hmm.
So I'd say that's where we draw the most of our inspiration from, and then the work of other folks that have come before us too.
Gotcha. Yeah. Um, I want to ask what separates great content other than just simply like looking good? Like, is there a substance that goes behind it, or is it the topic, or is there just a different feeling you're trying to evoke? How would you elaborate on that?
In my opinion, great content comes out of passion. When you're making something that you've been wanting to make for a long time, when you're experimenting, when you're, like trying something that kind of pushes your own boundaries,
Hmm.
just visually or narratively or anything like that, I think that's kind of what makes great content. Something that you can be proud of in whatever way. And ideally for me on the dock end, it would be something that has a narrative structure. I think that that can really, really pull you into the world of whatever story you're telling. And so for me, I'd say that's what separates it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think uh, I try to trust my first instinct on how I feel about something. Like when you have an edit and you feel the like goosebumps in say a transition or something, I try to listen to that because you kind of
Hmm.
only feel it once. So I try to stay in tune, even if it's like a long night of editing. You got to be like in tune with how you feel about something and respect your own judgment and your business partner's judgment because it's.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's the most important thing, like taste.
Absolutely. I can imagine there's a lot of long nights of editing. What is that? What is that kind of? I mean, what does that look like? Like sleepless nights just editing photography? Like I can't imagine.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, just last night I was up until probably 3:30 in the morning.
Oh wow.
Uh, because we want to make sure that we're getting our things graded, and so we're like adjusting for the edit but also color, and it's kind of multi-step. And
Hmm.
I personally, and Giovanni relates too, we get stuck in a loop when we're editing, and we get really thrown into that world, and sometimes it's hard to stop. We're kind of like chipping away at it, and then you look at the time and it's 3 in the morning and you're like, oh, totally gotta go to bed. So it's definitely not for lack of time management. We've got that down pat. We just kind of we're going and we're loving what we're making, and so it can be hard to stop, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I get that. Like you said, but I think it's the long nights and like the sleepless, tireless work of editing that is the passion that you're talking about. That seeps through just the visual beauty, but like it's
Absolutely.
more of a tangible understanding of how good this is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite project that you guys have worked on together, and what made it very memorable?
Hmm.
Project.
I'd say one of my favorites has been the work we're doing with there's a online magazine called
Oh
Planet
yeah.
Euphoria, and a really, really incredible creative director named Mandy has been putting together this platform, and it's been really great to kind of get the launch going. So we did the first of many interview series with a community member, a DJ, who's
Hmm.
been doing like incredibly powerful work. And so we did an interview, talking to her and exploring her work and her world, and working on it as a team with other folks collaboratively, just for the fun of it, just
Yeah.
because we're passionate about it. Was really, really incredible to see it all come together. And there are a bunch of incredibly talented folks, so I'd say that's been my favorite.
No, I
Hmm.
agree. It's been a lot of fun. They're really cool people. Just seeing everyone so like fun to be around, but they're very intentional about what they do. Like they don't mess around. They do, but not with their work.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so they make it very fun to work very hard.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
What would you say is a common mistake businesses make when creating content for social media?
I'd say a common mistake might be just creating for what's trending.
Hmm.
I think it's important to keep up with, what's happening, contemporarily, but I do think that we can learn from the work that's been made before us, and trends are cyclical. And I think that making something because you think it's incredible, or because you want to push that boundary, to me, really packs a punch more than kind of like feeding into only what's trending. If you go into it because you like the trend, I think that's another thing. But I think making projects because you're passionate about it, regardless of what's trending or not on social media,
Hmm.
will more times than not really resonate with your audience, rather than seeing something regurgitated.
Yeah. And like Tamo said, it comes back around, and if you truly think it's great, the first wave isn't going to be the hardest wave. Like it'll keep on going throughout time. And I think like the best projects, you keep thinking about them, even if they're not, the exact wave right now. You're going to keep thinking about them, and they're going to keep moving throughout, the next few years, next 100 years, whatever.
Absolutely. If a business has never invested in a professional media before, where should they start? And like, what would your sort of tips and tricks be for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my number one tip would be to, schedule a discovery call. Those are
Hmm.
often, free calls where you can sit down with a production team like ourselves. And, if this was us that you're meeting with, we would schedule a 15 to 30-minute chat, super informal, where we get to learn a little bit about you and your business. And we can kind of talk you through, an example of the ways that we've worked with other companies, and kind of strategies and things that worked for them within those. And then we craft something that will work for your business, without saying, hey, you need 7 million videos that, look like this and sound like this. We're really intentional about creating something specific to the company. And I think you get there by, talking to them, listening to what their long-term goals are, listening to kind of what they want their client base to know, and what they want to show them, and then we kind of craft it around there. So I would say, the first step is honestly just being curious, scheduling a chat, seeing where we align, and then it all kind of falls into place from there.
Giovanni, you want to add on
I think Tamo kind of said it. Summed it
that?
up right there.
Fair enough. Yeah, that was a good answer.
Yeah.
Um, One project that stood out when I was looking at your guys' stuff is the work with Chloe the God. How did that opportunity come about, and what was it like being a part of like the tour environment and working with an artist like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So on that project, I was editing, and so I wasn't necessarily in the tour environment for that,
Okay.
but it was still like really incredible footage to work with. She's an incredible artist. I think just through seeing my work online, and connecting with other artists in the community, someone was able to say, hey, like I think that your work really suits this, and
Mhm.
that was really incredible. I think a lot of great opportunities come from word of mouth. And it was fantastic. I mean, one thing that Giovanni and I talk about often is it is such a pleasure to work on a project where you have music that's not royalty free, where it's like made by an artist and you can feel like just the essence of the song. Like it is such a buzz working on a project with music like that. I absolutely love it. It's such a privilege, and Chloe the God's music is incredible. Huge shout out to her and her team. If you haven't checked out any of her projects, you definitely should.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, I would say that that's definitely the high, is like being able to work with music that you really, really like.
Yeah.
It's great. So yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
having that real, not that royalty free music isn't real music, but it's yeah. It's
It can
just
be
nice
more
working with,
crafted,
yeah,
more
yeah,
crafted to what you're
exactly.
making.
Like, you know, you can work with something that you kind of know already. Like, I don't know any royalty free artists that I jam to. So like doing something like Fuel Fest and having Joyner Lucas's music or Akari,
Mhm.
it's really cool. Like being able to edit with something, someone who made that, and you can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to editing clips from like a performance or something like that, how do you balance like documenting authentic moments, but also making it feel like polished and cinematic?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I mean, I think coming from the documentary world, I've come to realize that things will unfold in front of you if you're open to them. So it's a lot about like not curating a moment when you're shooting, but just being open to what comes. And I think that's the beauty of film, is like things will just happen when you're sometimes you're rolling and you get into a moment and it happens and you're able to kind of just like run with it. I think it's less about saying, oh, I'm gonna like build this particular image and create this like inauthentic thing, versus like, wow, this thing happened, like how can I put some pieces around it that really support and bring it to life. And so yeah, when capturing a tour like that, and plus everyone is like really in it when you're performing, like
Hmm.
I take my hat off to performers all over the world. Like it is an incredibly taxing, hard, beautiful kind of task and job, and so being able to capture any amount of that is going to be electric.
Very true.
Yeah, when they're good at what they do. You're like, I can't get anything bad if like you can tell they're having fun on that stage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotcha. I want to shift over to a little bit more of like the business aspect of your company and like the entrepreneurship. Obviously, starting a business isn't easy. What are some of the challenges that you've faced early on, or that you've been dealing with in this system?
Yeah, I'd say the earliest challenge would be like when you're starting a company, you're starting from ground zero. You need absolutely everything. You need a website,
Hmm.
you need infrastructure in the back end where you can have your emails, you can have your contacts. You need client outreach. You need to build like, boots on the ground, like
Hmm.
authentic connections with folks. You need to build like a niche. And so I think our biggest challenge at the beginning in any company is figuring out where to start when everything seems pertinent. And I think like the way that we've navigated that is realizing other things are going to fall into place as you need them. Let's start with, putting your work out there. Okay, you need to put your work out there. Let's start with a website and let's continue building and knowing like the website is going to be a living document. It's going to continue changing and evolving into something that you're proud of. And so, kind of just starting, getting something on paper and then building up from there, like meeting people and continuing to develop those relationships, working on a project and then continuing to see that relationship through, and then
Hmm.
those things are just building blocks to where you end up. So I'd say that was definitely the biggest challenge, and I think that's like a completely relatable position for any business. But it's just knowing that these are building blocks and you can't have a tower without stacking one brick. So
Yeah, that's the hardest part, especially as someone like who does creative work. Like they're not, at least I'm not, uh, really interested in the infrastructure part of it.
Hmm.
And before, like in my own freelance, I didn't have that set up super well. Like my outreach strategies, my emailing, Tamo really helped like set all that infrastructure up because I was not great at it. But like once you have it, it's kind of hard to see how you were without it
Hmm.
because you're not that you're not anything without it, but you're not stable. enough. And if you don't have like the time or the mini discipline to do that part, you're not going to keep growing because it's going to be too much. It's going to fall in on itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. Like you said, it can be very like daunting for someone to start a business and think about how they want to execute their vision and see so many challenges ahead of them, but taking it one step at a time, like you were saying, starting from that foundation and then you build your tower from that. I think that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How would you say your company has evolved since those days, or how do you guys approach things differently now that you've been established for a minute?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think now things have been honestly like continue to hopefully go this way, but they've been flourishing in
Hmm.
that we're meeting so many other folks that are young entrepreneurs that are like founders within their business, and we're building community. And I think that is the number one thing in any business, in any, like artist network, is to build that community. And I think what's changed is now we have created that and we've continued to give into that community and help other folks within our community as well. And like, I think that that speaks for like, how well any business is doing is the community they have around them and how they're giving into that community and giving back. And so yeah, I'd say that's the biggest change. Before, I was coming from Toronto.
Hmm.
I was like, rebuilding my community here. I've like lived here on and off from when I was younger, but within my adulthood, kind of rebuilding that network in LA, in a very authentic way. Not like I want to talk to you for 5 minutes because I think it'll advance my business. We really don't like
Hmm.
that, or care about that at all. We want to genuinely invest in whoever's within our life and meet people authentically. And so I think now we've really established that, and we have a core, connection and crew that we like genuinely care about. And so yeah.
Yeah, we had to build that up. So Tamo being out of Toronto, and I'm from the Central Valley. We didn't
Hmm.
have that network in Los Angeles, and that took a while to establish. But like Tamo said, like once you're in that world, you're kind of in it. Like it's as long as you're authentic about your who you are and your motives, people gravitate towards that, and it makes it very um, a lot easier on that business because it's a people business.
Yeah,
Like it very much is. You
Yeah.
need to be in tune with people and okay with the people you work with because it's everything. That's everything in this business.
yeah, you have to care. You have to care about people at the end of the day.
Yeah. And so, sort of like your passion is sort of infectious to the people you work with, and that makes it easier to latch on to more people who become more willing to work with you guys because of your drive. I get that.
Absolutely. And their passion too. Like we are
Yeah.
like deeply invested in what other folks are making and like how we can best support that and like how we can, use our platform to, give them their flowers that they also deserve. And I think it's kind of a give and take in that way.
Hmm. Absolutely. Um, Giovanni, you mentioned that it can be like not difficult, but like a balance is needed when you're in a creative field, but also have to be the entrepreneur and handle the business side of your company. How do you balance that, and what is something that you've learned over time?
Um, like I know my weaknesses and my strengths now,
Hmm.
and the things I know I may not be as strong as. I'll just turn to Tama. I'm like, dude, I can't. Like we do this thing where because you can get burnt out in your own head editing. We'll edit on FaceTime or something together, be able to bounce off ideas, and even if we're not like full on talking to each other, it's nice to have that co-working buddy. Like it
Hmm.
really moves along stuff. I forgot what the term is. It's like, what is it called? It's same what we were talking about the other day.
Oh yeah. I it's escaping me.
It's like two person or something like that. But it really helps. Like if someone's trying to start something, I recommend like finding somebody
An
who
accountability partner.
an accountability. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just somebody to kind of watch you do stuff. Because if you don't have that system built out, like it's really hard. Like I said, it's really hard to continue anything.
Hmm. Gotcha. I want to shift over to like your thoughts on, sort of the industry nowadays, but also what it can become in the future. How do you think that social media has changed visual storytelling over the last few years, or how long, like over while you guys have been creating this company?
It's definitely shorter. Like every video is so short now and so
Yeah.
fast.
Hmm.
It's kind of hard not to get lost in that because
Yeah.
that tends to be the thing. Retention tends to be the biggest thing in videos, and it's true because you need to if you're trying to put out a message or sell an item. Um, but yeah, that's what it's like now. It's like retention, high speed, buzzwords, and
Hmm.
it's hard not to get lost in that. But you have to be able to navigate around that.
Yeah, I was going to say, is it sort of not stifling, but is it more challenging, or does it also make it harder to create work that is more fulfilling? Do you feel like you're often getting trapped in these sort of cycles, or is it more, if I'm passionate about an idea, it'll work out?
I think that within this industry, there's room for everything, you know?
Okay.
And so I think that knowing that you care about, long form content or that you care about, traditional filmmaking will always kind of propel you towards that regardless. I think that people in every niche exist that care about lots of different kinds of content. And so, yeah, I think, it's opened the floor for a lot of folks around the world to be able to make something, with something that some people have more readily accessible, like a phone or what have you. And I think that's really cool for folks that, can't afford like a million, trillion, billion-dollar camera to
Hmm.
be able to just, make something. And I think there's something really beautiful about that. And there's also something amazing about like there being room for long form 3 hours 6 hour films. I think that's important and I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big proponent of that. I think short form content can be like damaging, but like you're saying, people follow the trends and it works out. But I respect that.
Yeah, you have to be able to like weather through each trend,
Yeah,
and it's gonna come at you. But like if you know what you're here to make, like you're gonna stay.
gotcha. I want to talk about with artificial intelligence and like emerging technology changing creative processes and industries. How do you see media production evolving over time with that element?
So that's a good question. I would say I can only really speak, for us and our
Yeah.
company. We are very involved in every element of production. A lot of it is, handmade, hand edited on our end, original concepts. And so we lead with that on our end. And I think we can only really focus on what we're passionate about putting out there, which would be, working with writers, working with other creators, working with original ideas that we have and want to see out there. And so, yeah, I'd say that that's kind of where our company is going. And I think um, ultimately there is always going to be something new. There's going to be new tools. There's going to be new things out there. And, you can only really focus on what you're making and what you want to make, what you want to put out there, how you want to support your communities, what tools that, are important to you. And for us, that would be, our cameras, our hands, the things that we're making, and we're proud of those.
Hmm.
Yeah, the stuff we make, I think I don't know, it's hard at times to see where things are going, but trusting that what I like, other people are probably gonna like as well. Not everybody, but we like the authentic storytelling, the imperfect storytelling, the imperfect visuals. I think
Yeah.
you're going to see more of that now.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that in social media. Like you've seen a lot of people go towards the um, authentic, just open their camera and start talking and just
Hmm.
spilling other ideas. And that form of like honest storytelling, I think is going to stay in the forefront.
Yeah.
It may not always seem like it, but I think it may.
And we're
Yeah, absolutely.
also,
Yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
so sorry. We're also really here for the process, right? Like, I like that it takes me a million years to finish something. Like, I like the, is this good? And the like revisions. Like, I think the beauty is
Hmm.
in the edit on my end. And I really appreciate that feeling of when you're stuck and then it clicks. And I like learning from the sounds of all of those, elements. I just love it. I think for me personally and like within our business, that's what really drives us to make something is like being part of like absolutely every aspect of the process and the ways that we like to be. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was gonna add on to Giovanni's point, like you mentioned some trends maybe that are not like super enthusiastic to be a part of, but then you mentioned like certain people being willing to capture authentic moments with their cell phone as not necessarily as an anti-AI stance, but like to make content without using artificial intelligence. Is there any trends right now like you mentioned that you're excited about, or like things that you guys are seeing in the industry that gives you like a positive feeling?
Yeah, I like seeing a lot of BTS stuff
Yeah.
that folks are putting
Hmm.
out.
Yeah, BTS is awesome, especially off like smaller films. Like I was telling Dana, what was I telling? The other day I was watching a lot of BTS shots of Obsession just came
Oh
out.
yeah,
I'm
gotcha.
like
Yeah.
seeing, like, wow, these people really made this, and they're a bit younger than us.
Hmm.
Like, they're around our age, and it's really cool seeing like, damn, they were like giving it their all. This is a real set. This really happened. It's full moments. It's like what we love about being on set.
Yeah, I think that's a great answer. I think you can see a shift right now, younger filmmakers and more like independently financed stuff
Yeah.
reaching the top of the box office, which is exciting for me as like a movie fan, and I'm sure for a lot of people.
Yeah, less like technically perfect movies.
Yeah.
I think at some point it becomes a bit stale.
Hmm.
Like there's like, why am I watching this if I kind of know the ending already? I kind of know this guy's, whatever. But this authentic form of storytelling is, I think, going to prevail because it's like what started the medium.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, like you said, you see the passion of the filmmaker seeping through the film, and that's a huge element of why people gravitate towards it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Okay. Not to sound like a job interview, but where do you guys see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now, we're going to be, directing several episodes into like a TV show,
Hmm.
as well as a feature. We're going to be doing, things that we really care about with people that we love, and then we're going to be mentors to other folks that need somebody that want to get on set, that want to try something new and be paid for it.
Hmm.
Like we're going to be paving the roads that we wanted to see when we were starting and the roads that we walked on when we were starting to. We're going to continue that.
Hmm.
Yeah. I wish I could say it better, but Tamo knows exactly what I want. Like that's exactly what I want. We talk about it all the time. Like we got into this with very similar stances in it, and yeah, like having that be our future, I see it. I see it clearly.
Absolutely.
Crystal.
What's one like project or like a client that you would love to work with someday, or like you mentioned, like what's one television show or series that you would love to direct an episode for, something like that?
Hmm.
Yeah. I have like a dream client. Would be like Polaroid. It's not a TV show,
Okay.
but I love.
Yeah.
I know they're a new company we took over, but instant film is like my favorite type of photography.
Hmm.
It's just so real, and you have that instant gratification from it, and you only have that one shot. So if I can have like, I don't know, I'd probably even do a TV show for Polaroid if they asked me to. Yeah.
I
Hmm.
love that. Yeah, I wanna work with Issa Rae or Michaela Cole.
Oh yeah.
Incredible like black women that are completely transforming the film world, the TV world, and I absolutely love their work, and I just want to continue that. So I see big things for Two Shot Media, and I'm excited for us to bring that to you folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Issa Rae is awesome. I just watched the Spider-Man movie yesterday, and
So good.
she's awesome.
She's in the
Yeah.
Spider-Man movie.
The animated one, yeah.
Well, who's she playing?
She's the pregnant woman, Spider-Man.
Oh, she is. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know that. I was just actually watching her. She did like a micro series recently. It's like
Yeah, it's
16
incredible.
episodes. Yeah, it's really good.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about. I just have a few more questions, and then we can hit some rapid fire. What advice would you want to give someone who wants to start a photography or videography business today?
Go out and shoot. Just do it. There's going to be a million reasons why it's hard to do, or why it's hard to start, but just, you know, pick up your camera, pick up your phone, just start. Email, reach out, try.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'd say find a community in it. Out in the Central Valley, there's a community called Central Valley Film Club, and they basically do like photo walks, and everyone comes in like 100 people at a time. They'll go out, do like a path, and talk cameras, talk film, and it really helps you stay, I'd say, like on your path. At least for me, like it's what brought me back into like the film TV world.
Hmm.
Was people, in that same community. Like try to build community as much as possible because, that, like I said, that's everything in this business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, being that this is ambitious entertainment, I will have to ask you, what does ambition mean to both of you?
Ambition to me means giving it your all, regardless of, what anybody else is telling you or the outlook that you're seeing, like regardless of the odds that are stacked against you, like trying. I mean, when I went to film school,
Hmm.
everyone's like, well, I mean, you're going to film school. Like, are you going to make any money? But at the end of the day, I'm like, well, I'm passionate about it and it's what I want to do. And I'm going to go to bed happy that I'm, working and living within my passion.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
Yeah, I think doing what you love, like regardless of the circumstances in front of you, like if you find a way to do what you love, it's gonna work out. Like even if it's not the biggest thing in the world, like just doing anything for yourself, for a community, that
Hmm.
that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, let's jump into a few rapid fire and then we can wrap up. Um, what is your favorite camera that you use, or what's the one that you like working with the most?
I really like the Sony A7S III. Like that's just a great camera. I like the color control. I think it's like a good like medium level camera for anyone to kind of pick up and
Hmm.
yeah, I like the camera. It's kind of what I learned a lot on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead. Yeah.
oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I know it's rapid fire, but I just what comes in, what kind of deciphers which camera catches your eye, I guess, or which one would you say is like a better camera than another for people who aren't familiar with that?
The best camera is the one you have access to at the
Hmm.
end of the day. This is the one that you're gonna, make stuff on.
Hmm.
There is always gonna be like camera politics,
Hmm.
and there's like different color sciences and different bodies that are really good. But ultimately, like you just have to be making something, and then you'll kind of know what suits your needs from there.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Giovanni.
you'll know what tool you'll need for any moment. Like I think most cameras today are amazing. Like
Hmm.
even compared to 2016 when we started film school, like it was harder to find a decent camera. Now every camera is amazing. Like my favorite camera is low-key my iPhone. There's three lenses on it. I can shoot pro raw
Hmm.
photos. I can edit on it. I can't edit on any other camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair
Now we
enough.
don't really use that for client work, but for something,
For me,
fun on our own, it's compact, it's something that you have access to, and that's, accessibility is the most important thing when it comes to filmmaking. Whatever you have access to and just making it. Right?
Hmm. You mentioned late night editing, or being caught in like a constant work cycle. Do you drink coffee or do you use energy drinks? What do you use to get by?
I definitely drink coffee, and then I get by also on pure adrenaline of like needing to be done this project now.
Okay.
you
Mhm.
know,
yeah, it's
yeah,
it's hard to sleep when you know like something's looming.
yeah.
But any sort of caffeine I'll take.
Yeah,
Same
we're
as
we're
wake
okay though.
coffee. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll totally
yeah.
fine.
I'm sure like the sleep schedule can be a little tilted some days for sure.
Oh yeah, but it's important to sleep. Like I don't condone that. I think get your 8 hours above all else.
Yeah. What is an underrated skill for creatives or people in your industry? What did you say is something you've learned that is like, oh, that's actually something I value very highly?
This is gonna sound very cliche, but like literally listening.
Yeah.
Um, just listening to other folks' ideas, like being open to, what other people have to say and listening. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'd say improvisation. Like just learn to step off your last step. Like it's gonna work out regardless. You
Mhm.
trust your taste and improv on what you know.
That's such a good answer.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, before we wrap up, is there anything, please let us know like what's next for Two Shot Media if you guys have big projects coming up for 2026, or if you'd just like to let us know like what you got in the works, please go ahead.
Absolutely. So 2026 is going to be a big year. We have a lot of things under wraps that are coming out. You can find all of our work at
Mhm.
twoshotmedia.com. You can also find it via our Instagram at twoshotmediaprod. My name is Tama. I'm one half of Two Shot Media, one of the co-founders.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree too. 2026, the latter half is gonna be exciting. Like we're in early pre-production of a mini TV show.
Mhm.
Um Still working on the title, but
Okay.
very early production, but I'm very excited for that project and to work with other artists as well. But yeah.
Yeah,
Look
absolutely.
forward.
That should be awesome. I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
have a couple of really quick shout outs for other folks to check out.
yeah, please go on.
Check out Planet Euphoria, as well as Yomoria Wright's work. She makes an incredible series called The Producer's Blueprint for any up and coming producers to check
Awesome.
out. Please support the Thirst Project.
Mhm.
They're an incredible nonprofit organization, as well as Chosen Hearts. They're also LA based and doing some beautiful work with folks in housing crisis. And I think that's really important. And, support your fellow filmmaker. We appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you guys for joining us today, Giovanni and Tim. Thank you so much. Please make sure to follow everybody he just mentioned, as well as obviously Two Shot Media and both of their accounts. This has been Ambition Amplified. I've been Zach. And yeah, until next time, thank you guys so much for coming on.